Age 20, already in the top 60, already a millionaire before her 21st birthday. And she is not just playing tennis. She is rewriting history for the Philippines. In one blazing fortnight, she jumped from world number 140 to number 75. She didn't just climb. She beat two top 10 Grand Slam champions to get there. A Filipina did that. But behind the spotlight is a story of sacrifice. From school runs in Manila to 5-hour training blocks in Mallorca, her family gambled everything on a 12-year-old girl's dream. Now the question burns. Can Alexandra Eala turn sparks into sustained dominance? Can she carry a nation hungry for its first true tennis icon? Picture the scenes. Bright blue courts at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Footwork like clockwork at dawn. Then magazine covers, center court lights, and waving flags. But time in tennis is ruthless. Points expire. Injuries stalk. Every single week is survival. And that's why this moment is everything. This is the inside blueprint. Her age, her net worth, her career rise, and the luxury home she now calls reality. This is Alexandra Eala, right now. In Quezon City, 2005, a girl was born into a family that lived and breathed sports. Her mother, Riza Maniego Eala, was a national swimming medalist. Her father, Mike Eala, gave full support. Her brother, Miko, would later battle on U.S. college courts. Sports wasn't an option, it was in the blood. By the time she was 12, Alexandra Eala wasn't just playing, she was winning. At Les Petits As, the Junior World Championship in France, she stormed through the draw. Champions like Nadal and Djokovic once lifted the same trophy. Now a Filipina held it. That same year, the letter arrived. A scholarship to the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. It was the chance of a lifetime, and the hardest goodbye. At just 12 years old, Alex left Manila. She left the language she knew, the streets she grew up on, and traded them for an island across the world. Days were long. Mornings began with Zoom classes. Afternoons turned into endless conditioning drills. Nights ended with forehands and serves under floodlights. No mall hangouts, no teenage freedom, only one clear purpose: tennis. Her childhood became sacrifice, but sacrifice became momentum. By 13, her name was whispered in junior circuits. By 14, her ranking climbed faster than expected. This wasn't luck. It wasn't a single hot streak. It was trajectory. From Manila's crowded streets to Mallorca's blue courts, Alexandra Eala proved she wasn't just another junior. She was a future professional, a player already walking the same path carved by legends. And the question began to echo. What early proof showed the world she was destined for more? From Manila's courts, Alexandra Eala rose fast. But the world only noticed when she started breaking barriers on the junior stage. In 2020, at just 14, she won the Australian Open Junior Doubles, the first major trophy for a Filipina in tennis history. In 2021, she followed with the French Open Doubles crown, 2 Grand Slam titles before most teens finish high school. By then, her ranking touched world number 2 in juniors. The signal was clear. This wasn't just talent, it was dominance. But whispers grew. Was she only a doubles specialist? Could she stand alone in singles, where the real careers are made? For 2 years, the question lingered. And then came New York. At the 2022 US Open Juniors, she stormed through the draw. 5 rounds, 5 straight wins without dropping a set. On finals day, she didn't blink. She became the first Filipino ever to win a junior Grand Slam singles. Doubts ended that night. The world had its answer. Alexandra Eala wasn't just holding others' hands in doubles. She could carry her own weight against anyone. But junior tennis is a doorway, not a destination. The leap to the pros has broken many dreams. For every Grand Slam junior champion, there are dozens who vanish under the weight of the pro tour. Would she face the same wall? Would her power and precision hold against women ranked in the top 200, top 100, top 50? Junior trophies had opened the door, but the professional game was about to slam it shut. Unless Alexandra found a way to break through early. And soon the first cracks appeared in that wall. At just 14 years old, Alexandra Eala took the leap that many only dream of. She turned professional. 1 year later, at 15, she claimed her first pro title, the ITF W15 in Manacor, Spain, the very backyard of Rafael Nadal's academy. It was proof she could win, not just against juniors, but against grown professionals fighting for their paychecks. At 16, she scored her first WTA main draw victory. The headlines spread across Manila. For the first time, a Filipina was not just participating, she was winning on tour. But progress came in the grind. Dozens of weeks on the ITF circuit, from $25,000 to $100,000 tournaments. Each one a ladder rung, each one survival. In Monastir, Tunisia, the temperature hit 45 degrees Celsius. The stands were nearly empty. The prize money was small, but the ranking points were everything. This was life at the bottom of the pyramid. Sweat, silence, sacrifice, all for a chance to climb one step higher. Every week came the same question. A wild card into the glamour of a WTA event, or the long grind through qualifiers, where one loss meant starting over again. Many falter here. Dreams break not in stadiums, but in empty clubs with no cameras. Yet Alex pushed. Title after title at the ITF level, each one stacking her ranking, each one inching her closer to the top. Still, a ceiling hung over her. No Filipina had ever cracked the top tiers of tennis. Could she? And then came one single run, the tournament that rewrote history and proved that Alexandra Eala's ceiling was higher than anyone dared to believe. The year was 2025. The tournament, Miami Open, a WTA 1000, one of the biggest stages in tennis outside the Grand Slams. Alexandra Eala entered on a wild card. No guarantees, no safety net, just one chance to prove she belonged. The draw was brutal. Top seeds lined every corner. Commentators whispered that she might not survive the first round. But Alex didn't just survive. She struck first. She beat a seeded player, then she did the unthinkable. On center court, under the Florida sun, she faced a top 5 Grand Slam champion, the kind of opponent juniors dream of playing, the kind of opponent most fold against. Point by point, rally by rally, Alex didn't blink. She swung free. She won. The upset echoed across the sport. A Filipina had just taken down one of the world's best. Back home, phones exploded with messages. News outlets ran headlines calling her the first ever Filipina giant killer. For young athletes across Manila, the impossible suddenly looked possible. And the run didn't stop there. A walkover pushed her into the quarterfinals. Critics said luck, but Alex made it count. She held her nerve and kept climbing. By the end of Miami, she had jumped 65 spots in the rankings in just 2 weeks. From outside the top 140 to knocking on the door of the top 70. It wasn't just a streak. It wasn't just lightning in a bottle. It was a shockwave, the kind that shifts ceilings, rewrites expectations, and forces the world to ask new questions. Was this only one magical fortnight? Or had Alexandra Eala just signaled that she was here to stay, as the first Filipina capable of rewriting tennis history? For Alexandra Eala, the breakthrough wasn't enough. In tennis, one big win can make headlines, but only consistency builds a career. The next step came fast. Her first WTA final. Bright lights, cameras, the pressure of a nation, and then history. The first Grand Slam main draw victory by a Filipino in the Open era. No longer just a promise. Now, a record breaker. Her climb didn't stop there. At just 20 years old, she reached a career-high ranking of world number 56. She collected wins across clay, grass, and hard courts, against top 100 opponents, against names veterans feared. But here came the new reality. The higher you climb, the harder it gets. The tour knows you now. They study your serves. They dissect your backhand. They test your weakest moments. The challenge shifted. Not how to shock the world once, but how to win with your B game. One night, a rain delay broke her rhythm. She walked back out, soaked, shivering. Reset. Hold serve to love. Match closed. Lesson learned. Champions win ugly too. Week after week, the grind grew heavier. Ranking points expire fast. Lose early, and the fall is steep. Win late, and the climb continues. Fans saw trophies. What they didn't see was the work. 5-hour practices, endless travel, the mental toll of staying sharp when the world expects you to deliver. And still, Alex kept proving herself. Not just a wild card story, not just a junior champion, but a professional carving space in the toughest sport on earth. The results were visible, but behind them was a hidden machine, a system designed to make success repeatable. By the age of 20, Alexandra Eala had already crossed the $1 million mark in prize money. On paper, that made her one of the youngest Filipino athletes to ever touch those numbers. Prize money doesn't all stay in a player's pocket. Coaches, travel, nutrition, agents. Costs eat fast. That's why endorsements matter more than trophies, and Alex has them. Globe Telecom once called her its child ambassador. Nike supplies the gear, Babolat the rackets, BPI the backing. And beyond the court, she has graced Vogue Philippines and Tatler. Fashion spreads, lifestyle covers, brand shoots. Every photo adds to her global pull. It's visibility that fuels her estimated net worth of around $500,000. Not bad for a teenager still balancing practice blocks and media calls. But here lies the conflict. Every shoot, every campaign, every quick content ask. They all steal hours from recovery, from drills, from rest. The line between star and athlete grows thinner with each demand. If you want profiles built on numbers, data, and no hype, subscribe right now. It keeps this work independent and tells the algorithm these breakdowns matter. Because for Alex, the spotlight is only half the story. Behind the brand is still the grind. And about those luxury homes you've heard about, what's real and what's just projection. When headlines mention luxury homes, the picture feels obvious. Glass towers, mansions, infinity pools. But Alexandra Eala's reality is very different. Her true base is the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Spain. Not a mansion, but pro dorms. Clean rooms, shared halls, dining blocks, and classrooms stitched into one campus. It is infrastructure as luxury, 24/7 security, elite courts, physio staff, nutrition labs, all under one roof. The privilege is not marble floors, it's access to an entire performance machine. Yet beyond Mallorca, life shrinks to a suitcase. 1 week, hotel rooms in Tunisia. Next week, an overnight train in Europe. Red-eye flights, recovery on physio tables. The rhythm is not glamorous. It's hotel check-ins, jet lag, and meals eaten alone. The contrast is sharp. On a magazine cover, Alex wears couture. On a Monday morning, she is grinding through conditioning circuits, hitting serves under the Manacor sun. Her luxury is repetition. Her comfort is routine. The lifestyle looks expansive, but it's narrow. Tennis gives global travel, but at the price of home. Her life is portable, structured, and monastic. Is her story defined by numbers, rankings, prize money, endorsements, or by something deeper? The resilience that carries her through the grind. For Alexandra Eala, every match is more than a scoreboard. It is a jersey, a flag, a promise. From her teenage years, she lined up not only on tour, but under the Philippine banner. At the Southeast Asian Games, she fought for bronze. At the Asian Games, she delivered another medal. She could have chosen the easier path, skip regional events, chase only ranking points. But she came back, again and again, because wearing the flag mattered. Then came the firsts. The first Filipino in the WTA Top 100. The first Filipino to win a main draw Grand Slam match in the Open era. The first Filipino to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal. Every milestone wasn't just hers. It was written as a national headline. And in those moments, the emotion spilled out. After a win, she would mouth the words, "Para sa Pilipinas." Not for myself, not for the ranking. For the millions watching back home, believing tennis could belong to them too. But with pride comes pressure. Every chant, every flag raised in the stands adds another layer of expectation. When you are the first, you are also the only. The one who carries a nation's hope, its longing for representation on the global stage. Can that weight crush? Yes. But it can also become fuel. Fuel that burns when the body tires, when the mind doubts, when the match stretches past 3 hours. And that brings us to the heart of it all. Beyond rankings, beyond money, beyond luxury homes. What truly is the core of Alexandra Eala's story? In the end, Alexandra Eala proves a truth bigger than tennis. Discipline is greater than destiny. She is not a comet that burns bright and vanishes. She is a craft, built brick by brick, drill by drill. The so-called luxury of her story is not real estate. It is the luxury of world-class repetition under pressure. Thousands of serves in silence, thousands of steps repeated until the body moves like instinct. Because talent may open a door, but only audit-level habits, sleep, recovery, conditioning, film study keep that door from slamming shut. The emotional peak is clear, a match point saved, a fist raised high, a flag draped across her shoulders, history layered on history. She is 20, top 60, 7 figures in career earnings, and yet still standing at the starting line. What matters most for Alexandra Eala's next leap? A top-tier coach, a serve speed jump of plus 5 kilometers per hour, or a targeted clay block? Drop your take below. The sharpest answers will feature in our next episode.